Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So right now there's some insane drama going on in the Yakuza franchise. So recently there have been clips circulating on Twitter that are showing the voice acting performance of a YouTuber named YongYea, who has taken the role of the English dub for the character Kiryu, who is the main protagonist of the Yakuza franchise. These clips have been met with a lot of criticism on social media, and worsening the situation is YongYea's response to this set of criticism. And before we get into the details, real quick, we did get an extension on the Rev Fumo campaign, and that extension is now down to 7 days. You only have 1 week left to claim your Rev Fumo. No more extensions after that. When this campaign ends, that is it. The window to get your Rev Fumo is over. And by the way, we also hit over 1,000 Rev Fumo sold, which is absolutely insane. So thank you guys for your support on this campaign. Link in the pinned comment if you want to check this out. But back to the main topic for today. So a lot of people are upset about YongYea's performance as Kiryu, and that's not really surprising because this is a character that is very iconic. It's one that's been also assigned with a certain voice for around 2 decades at this point. So when YongYea took over this role for the English dub of this main protagonist of the series, there was a lot of pressure to do it right. And here is YongYea for those who are not familiar. This is his Twitter account, and that's going to be a big focus here because he's going to get criticized, and the way he handles this criticism is only going to make the situation worse. But it all began right here with this tweet, where YongYea would post a clip containing some examples of his voice acting performance, and this would be met with brutal criticism because a lot of people were not amused with the performance and they thought it was pretty bad. And right now, I'm just going to play a very quick clip so you can get a sense of what this voice acting performance looks like.
Kiryu-san, I don't have a bald patch, do I? I think the bullet ripped a chunk out. Does it look bad?
Can't say I see any difference. The tips are a bit burned, but your hair looks like it's seen more bullets than one.
So I think this reply really sums up what a lot of people are saying about this voice acting performance. This user says, "Unfortunately, in my opinion, you're not a great match for Kiryu's voice. Yours is just not deep enough for old Kiryu in my opinion. I like your videos, been watching you for a long time. I'm so used to your voice that I can't hear Kiryu, I just hear plain Yong Yea." Now this criticism about sounding just like himself, like his regular voice, is going to be very important. You're going to see why in a couple of minutes. But this is the sort of criticism a lot of people are giving. They're saying it's not only a dry performance and doesn't really match up with the voice that people have been accustomed to, it's also just sounds like YongYea talking to his audience in his regular voice. And it pulls people out of the immersion. And this comment is interesting because it's one of the very few critical replies that are not hidden. So unfortunately, YongYea, facing criticism on tweets like that, has responded with 2 things, and that's blocking people and hiding replies. And unfortunately, he doesn't understand how the hidden replies feature works on Twitter. Don't hide replies in 99% of situations because it basically serves as like a highlight reel for people dunking on you and making fun of you. And it's very easy and accessible. It's like a separate tab. So people who want to see angry responses just click on the hidden replies and get everything in a neat little stack, and then they go and like all of those and make it even worse. And a lot of these hidden replies, they're just like very benign, and it's showing that he's insecure about these comments, and he's going out of his way to manually find all of them and hide them. I mean, there's literally dozens on posts like this that he's made. And before you start feeling bad for YongYea, there's a couple things we got to point out. Because I know a lot of people will say, wow, that's a lot of people attacking him for a voice acting performance. Did he really deserve all of this? Well, I don't really know if he deserved everything that's come his way, but he definitely should be prepared for it. And he should have expected this to come because YongYea is someone who is claiming he's been training as a voice actor for some time. He is a popular YouTuber, and he's aware of the Yakuza franchise. So he should have known right then and there that he was going to be under a lot of scrutiny for his performance. And couple that set of expectations with the fact that his content, his commentary, is very critical of other people and other mediums, and in particular, he has made videos critical of other voice acting performances. In fact, about a year ago, he made an entire video criticizing Chris Pratt's performance as Mario in the Mario movie. And we're going to see just a little snippet of that video because his choice to criticize Chris Pratt's performance is based largely on the fact that he claims it's just Chris Pratt's voice and that there's nothing really added to it. And that's exactly what people are criticizing him for in his performance as Kiryu.
One thing that everyone's talking about is, of course, Mario's voice. This is the main character. This is an iconic character. There's a very specific voice and type of performance that we associate with Mario's character. And this trailer finally gave us a glimpse of what Mario will sound like, who is played by Chris Pratt. And I'll be honest, when I first watched this trailer, I was kind of disappointed. I was a little taken aback by how much Mario just sounds like Chris Pratt doing like a bit of a Brooklyn accent. This still shot right here is a pretty appropriate representation of my reaction, that first knee-jerk impression.
And if his criticism of Chris Pratt's performance wasn't obvious enough, there's also several tweets from the past year or so where he's doubling and tripling down on his takes and making it very clear that he thinks that Chris Pratt did a bad job in his performance as Mario because his voice wasn't anything beyond what he normally does. Okay, and unfortunately for him, it's you reap what you sow. I mean, this is much like the Pro ZD situation. When you set up standards for others, you can't cry when those standards are applied back to you. Because in this case, if you're going to criticize Chris Pratt for basically using his regular voice as Mario, you're going to get criticized when you take up the voice of Kiryu and you sound exactly like your regular voice. And that's the main criticism a lot of people were making. Now, there was another clip that would go around on Twitter that would get insanely brutal criticism. And this is a clip of the karaoke, one of the various karaoke scenes where Yong Yea is singing as Kiryu. And there was no amount of tuning that could save this performance. It's pretty brutal.
We're breaking the law, breaking the world together, throwing out all tenderness, we're breaking the rules.
So just like anything involving voice acting performances, this is all subjective. Some people can look at this and think it was an amazing performance, and some people can look at it and think it's a very bad performance. But the consensus is pretty clear on this one. The majority of people who looked at that clip thought it was a bad job. That YongYea did not do a good job singing as Kiryu. And honestly, from one guy who can't sing to the next, it just wasn't a good performance, okay? And the responses to this have been absolutely brutal. And I just want to go through some of the quotes because they get to the point very quickly. So this user says, completely vindicated in my original tweet from earlier this year that YongYea was horribly miscast as this character, and him blocking me over saying that was totally worth it. And yeah, I mean, that's one of those things, if you want to bring on a YouTuber for the purposes of bringing more attention to your game, you have to make sure they're doing the bare minimum on their performance, especially when it comes to such an iconic character like Kiryu. There's a lot of pressure there, and he better deliver, and that's kind of on the developers and the people producing this game to get the right person, a quality performance. This reflects badly on them too. Here's another one saying, you cannot look at me in the eye and tell me YongYea was hired because of his talent. I refuse to believe that. This is a straight dog water and terrible casting. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing really else to add to that. This user saying, I have unironically heard AI covers that sound better than this, and I've seen people making AI covers of YongYea's voice and remaking the karaoke, and it actually sounds better, and that's pretty bad. Here's another one saying, what a nice AI cover. Oh, it's actually the official dub for YongYea. Brutal. This user saying, crazy how even with this much autotune, he can't hit notes. And again, as a person who's not very good at singing, even I can look at that and say, yeah, very bad performance. And I don't know how, with so much autotune, they still couldn't make it sound good. Here's another one saying, voice actors who spent 20 years perfecting their profession, watching video game companies hire some random YouTuber with no experience. Yeah, I do kind of wonder how voice actors view this sort of thing, because it's not just with the Yakuza franchise. They do this with big budget movies where, we're dealing with animated characters and voice acting performances where they bring in celebrities who are not voice actors for the obvious purpose of generating more attention to the film or series or whatever it is. And I wonder how classically trained voice actors feel about that kind of thing, because clearly people like that are not as qualified. Now, in this case, YongYea claims he's been training for the past 2 years or so, and I don't know how that's going. I don't know if he's being scammed or something, but it's not really matching up to the level of quality you would expect from voice actors in that field who have much more training and experience. Here's another one saying, never let YouTubers who only got into the industry off clout and not actual skill cook ever a effing again. Yeah, this is, like I said, with the reaping versus sowing kind of mentality, it's kind of ironic this happened just after the whole Pro ZD stuff. But yeah, bringing in YouTubers for projects like this is a big risk. I mean, the clout can only be worth it if the performance is at least respectable. And I think this is something that is pretty obvious, but YongYea has addressed this before, saying there will always be a loud minority who will claim I get cast because I'm a YouTuber. FYI, I've been acting longer than I've been YouTubing. I earned Kiryu. Spent days perfecting my auditions. If they only cared about follower numbers, they just cast Mr. Beast for everything. Well, the reason that Yakuza is not casting Mr. Beast for this role is because Mr. Beast doesn't want to do it. If Mr. Beast turned to that franchise and said, I want to voice Kiryu, they would throw you in the trash can instantly. They would take him in a heartbeat because that would increase the attention on this game tenfold. But in this case, the fact that you're a YouTuber is clearly the reason you got a leg up in this hiring, because you have not been training as long as these other voice actors who are probably going for this role, and that's very obvious. But he was defensive right from the beginning when people were calling this out, and I think you can understand why people would think that your 1 million plus YouTube channel helped you get this role. But after facing all of the backlash over the past 2 days or so, YongYea would make this tweet addressing everything, saying, appreciate all those reaching out with kind words on Kiryu. Always knew some toxicity was coming or that not everyone would be on board, but I'm glad to see more people are warming up to my version, and I'm excited for people to see Kiryu's full journey. Wish I could show more. Now, you can already see the little button showing up here. That means that there's hidden replies, and he just couldn't help himself. There are literally dozens of hidden replies from even the most benign of comments. As long as it's saying anything that shows a hint of negativity towards his performance or just himself, it's getting hidden. And it's just showing again that these comments are getting to you, and it encourages people to keep doing it. You're showing them attention, you're highlighting their posts, and it's just making it worse. And responding like this to the criticism is not good. It's not a good strategy. I get it's frustrating when people are criticizing you, but as someone who's been very critical of other voice actors and their performances, you have to understand the importance of just taking it and moving on. That's the only way you can do this at this point. If you want to carry on the role of Kiryu, you're just going to have to stick with the criticism, roll with it, and stop letting these people get to you. And also, I mean, while we're here, if you're going to play some Yakuza, they got the Case on arc, so maybe that'll distract you guys from the bad performance. But nonetheless, this has been a reap what you sow kind of day, and it's unfortunate. This whole idea of YouTube voice actors getting in over their heads has been something that's happened now twice in the past couple of weeks, and people are very quick to point that out. But that's going to do it for this video, and I appreciate you guys listening. Please share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.